Hey Geminis, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your first half of October general reading. So in the meditation, really interesting, but isn't it always? I saw the image of, I was taken to like a crystal cave and I'm walking through the crystal cave at nighttime, of course. And I get to a clearing within the cave and there's a full moon and I'm surrounded by, it felt like sapphires. And I saw the image of Peter Pan. Now, what's really fascinating about this, it was Peter Pan, but in his cartoon form, like from the Disney movie, Peter Pan, standing in this clearing. And then I saw a humongous, there's no other word for it, a huge spider come and you know, kind of stand next to Peter Pan. And I heard Peter Pan say, I said, you know, what are you doing here? So I'm looking at this Peter Pan and spider going, okay, what are you doing here? And he said, I am that untapped joy. I am that untapped joy. So, you know, what I'm getting from this, what I know of Peter Pan, not something someone I think about all too often, but what I know of Peter Pan is there's that idea of him that he never wanted to grow up, right? It's like having that endless childhood where, you know, it's a lack of responsibility, not having to worry about the future or the past, just being able to play and explore and have adventure and not have rules and all of this, right? And then we look at the spider energy, which is, it's sort of a, you know, 10 of Pentacles meets the High Priestess energy in a way, because it very much speaks of not just the webs that we weave in our life through our choices, but also how our actions really reverberate in all directions of time and space, right? Meaning that what we choose to do in any given moment affects not just that moment, right? It affects, you know, future events that we can't see, right? Choices that we made from our past can be affecting us even now, and we might not even be aware of them because they are so lodged in our subconscious, right? For example, if we, you know, have certain ideas or thoughts about money that stem from our childhood, we carry that into our adulthood, and we're making choices from that place of our childhood experience, which may not always be in our best interest, right? But it's that inability to either see it and be aware of it so that we can make different choices, or, you know, coming from a place of, you know, I can release that and trust that, you know, things can be different in my adulthood than they were for my parents, and they were, you know, different for my children than they were for me. There's something about that Peter Pan thing coming through as well with that untapped joy. I feel like it's such a cliche to say like your inner child is calling, knock knock, but there is something about that too, where it's like that untapped joy. I feel like you've been adulting really hard. You know, there's an aspect to this that says, you know, can you incorporate with that web that the spider weaves? Can you incorporate the aspects of yourself that are rooted in your child experience with what's going on in your adult experience? Because ideally, we don't lose the best parts of that inner child within us. We're able to incorporate it into our adult experience so that we enjoy our lives. Like, that's what it is. So that we maintain that sense of play, so that we are able to show ourselves that unconditional love that every child deserves to be shown. You know, not always the case, but they always deserve it, right? So there's something in that about incorporating that child aspect of self that's coming up for review or has something to contribute to your current situation, whether it's an idea, a solution to something, or even just a shift in perspective. So really interesting. I think that, no, I can definitely say that is the first and only time Peter Pan has ever come up in meditation. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what your cards say. Hey Geminis, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the first half of October. By the way, I picked up this deck. I had shuffled it before. Spider on the bottom of the deck there. Let's see what your animal energy is for the first half of, 2 for 1. All right. Okay, so wow, lots of blue going on here. So we have the dragonfly and the sea serpent for your animal energies. You know, the dragonfly, we got beautiful air energy for you. I always say it's very auspicious when you get an animal that's of your like energy and element for a time period. It's really beautiful that you're getting dragonfly here as well, because dragonfly speaks of that Ace of Swords energy from the tarot, which is big clarity, big realizations, offers, contracts, big truth, absolute truth, right? So this is always really nice when this comes up in this way, because it always just feels like a breath of fresh air, right? This is sort of the remedy to any sort of illusion or deception or brain fog, not being able to see things, your situation, others, the world clearly, right? This also speaks of dream time as well. So whenever dragonfly comes in, I always say like you could be in for some very helpful or prolific dreams, right? But also I want to take a further meaning to that and say, like, we're talking about Peter Pan, and we're talking about spider energy and the webs that we weave and the creation of life. You know, there could be an aspect to this as well about what your dreams are. Right? And I always say with that, I always think like, if time and money were no object, what would you do? Because we can get very caught in the web. Let's just keep going with that. Caught in the web of, you know, making decisions from a place of, well, I do this so that I can pay the bills. I do this so that, you know, the worst doesn't happen. I do this so that, you know, I can keep A, B, and C at bay from happening, right? But let's just look at the counterpoint of that and going, but if time and money were no object, we understand that they are. We understand that they are, but for the sake of, you know, your mind palace, let's look at this from the vantage point of, if they weren't, what would you do? Just taking some time to imagine what that would be, because there's a lot of good information in that, right? I feel like really giving yourself time to consider it could open up your path in a way and give you some insight and clarity around happiness, I want to say, because we're not looking at specifics, we're looking at happiness, your path to happiness, right? That maybe has eluded you or is shrouded in the day-to-day obligation and responsibility or even heaviness of the world at large, right? Then we have the sea serpent here. Woo! This speaks of emotional clearing, emotional healing. This is Yermungandr, right? The world serpent who's biting their own tail. So it speaks of cycles and completion points and healing, right? Now, this equates to a Queen of Wands energy in the tarot, which speaks of, you know, feeling confident, feeling like you're exactly where you're meant to be, and feeling like you are always in the perfect position to, you know, make choices from a place of confidence and knowing and trust, right? So this is really interesting. I'm really taken by the blue, Gemini, just off the bat here. Blue, color of the throat chakra, which is about communicating well, communicating truthfully, but also communicating from the essence of who you truly are. I'm really getting that Peter Pan here, y'all. I am. It's really coming in here. It's like, who were you before, you know, the world got its hands on you, and before, you know, all of the, you know, harder aspects of life took form in your reality? That there's that part of you that is really calling to your attention. I almost like crying out for your attention. But why do I feel like that Peter Pan aspect of you is like locked in a closet somewhere, and you're like, no, I have things to do? That child aspect of you, I feel like, is the symbol of your soul, right? And why it's here and what it's here to do. And what do I mean by that? I believe that happiness is in part achieved when we are living our soul purpose. That doesn't mean we have all the money in the world. That doesn't mean we have, you know, love. That doesn't mean we have whatever, physical or, you know, those kind of tangible things. It's not about the results. When you are connected to your soul purpose and living from that place, happiness is always there, regardless of the given circumstances, because you know that there's nothing else that you would rather be doing. You're connected to that purpose. It's sort of like being at that home base for you. So I feel like you're being called to take a look or feel into what that is, right? The sea serpent and the Ace of Swords, right? This looks like a home base to me. and then an I. What is that for you? Why are you here? And how is what you are not doing serving that? Have you not even thought about it? Right? It is a question, right? Or is it just about you're really living in the day-to-day and the mundane world, right? It's how much of what you do is to keep, things from going to hell, so to speak, and how much do you do for the joy and the play of it, right? Something in that. Okay. I think, wasn't Peter Pan's problem with adults that they didn't know how to have fun? There's something in that. I love this. Okay, so here we have Six of Swords, more sword air energy for my beautiful air signs here. Six of Swords is about a transition. It's a point of movement over water. There's a lot of water here as well. Oh, that's weird. I just heard a weird noise. I don't know what that was from my phone or something. But this is a transition point. Six of Swords, what I love about this energy in particular is that this speaks of a state of inner peace, right? But it's not an inner peace like a, end all be all, like I'm done now and I can just fade into the background and be happy for that. No, it's about inner peace in the midst of a transition. Right? So, transition can also, with the Six of Swords, speak of movement, either over a body of water or from one chapter of your life into another, right? But I do feel like you are in transition right now, and you're really being called to consider your relationship to your insides, right? Your mental peace, your inner stamina, and relationship to what is shifting in your current reality or environment, right? Also, Seagull energy is about messages coming through. So I do feel like there's communication messages and news that's coming your way as well as a part of or in addition to the transition point, right? It's really like air and water. Like it really is. So here we have the Queen of Cups here in all of her glory. This is brilliant because she is the queen that is so connected to how she feels. She's so connected to how she feels, even to the point of overwhelm, but she's connected to it. She's the most intuitive queen. She is the aspect of the Empress that says I do not run from my feelings. I am fully aware of them. I take a bath in my feelings. Just being connected to them in such a way. Have you ever heard anyone say I just don't even know how I feel. I don't even know how I feel. And the Queen of Cups comes in and she's like, oh, let me help you out with that. I do feel like there is going to be opportunity, but it's interesting, Gemini, because how I'm getting this, not just an opportunity to connect with how you feel and your inner emotional landscape. I feel like there's going to be circumstances that maybe you can't not, that aren't just going to incentivize you, but really kind of, I'm trying to avoid saying make you, but that are going to strongly incentivize you to connect to your feelings. Also, the moon, the full moon, we have the full moon in Aries, October 9th of this month, on the 9th of the month. But there's also this aspect where the moon rules a sign of Cancer as well. And I'm really feeling a Cancerian energy for you within this, which is interesting because the Queen of Wands is the queen of the home and the hearth. Cancer is the sign of the home and the hearth. And I do feel like your heart, see how this boat is moving towards, see how it's all water? And it looks like these guys on the boat are going to meet this Queen of Cups. I feel like your emotional core is going to be large and in charge. And we're talking about, queens, mothers. There's this aspect of it that says your inner child or even the children in your life, right? It's interesting. It feels like a very stark contrast between the adult that you are and your childhood experience. Oh, and speaking of childhood experience, we have the Page of Wands. Ooh, the fire baby. I love it. So, Page of Wands. Traditionally speaking, this is very much about a young, childlike energy. that is really about what excites us, what gets our creative spark going, what do we live for, what gets us up in the morning. It's something that we're excited about that directly connects us to what? Because it's a wand, right? Our soul purpose and why we're here, right? So it's coming through for you in this way. I'm really hearing to either reconnect or reimagine, or at least investigate with curiosity and non-judgment why you're here and what would align you to that sense of purpose. Because again, if you are aligned with a sense of purpose, a lot can happen in your given circumstances that may not be ideal, but it's okay because you know why you're here and you're on your path, right? But I feel like you're a bit like a boat without a port at the moment, and you're really being steered towards connecting with your feelings and your inner child and that emotional core within you that is going to lead you to this aspect of yourself, this page of wands that goes like, oh, I feel like you're either, for some of you, you're either reconnecting to your purpose and falling in love with it again, or reconnecting to the joy of it, or maybe you're even discovering it for the first time, right? It's really interesting how this is shown here as well in this key with the flying devil here. It is Edgar Allan Poe. So like, of course, we're going to go there, but this flying devil, like trying to take the candle away. Look at how adult he feels, right? And then look at this, like, this is the baby, right? But we've got this like flying devil who's doing this like mischief and this trickery. I'm thinking about Tinkerbell with Peter Pan and trying to take, right? I'm really hearing that the choice is up to you, but there's no running from that fire, that aspect within you that goes like, I really want to be connected and doing something that matters, right? I want to do something that matters. It's not just about income. It's not just about reputation. It's not just about whatever, ABC, XYZ adults here, right? But it's about doing something where if you were to, I mean, not to be overly dramatic, but have we met? If you were to leave the earth tomorrow, right? How would you feel about what you know, your mark that you're leaving here upon the earth? What would that be? Especially if you have children, right? Children is coming up a lot here, especially with the Peter Pan, right? How would you feel about, you know, the kind of example that you set, the work that you did, the imprint that you left, the legacy that you passed on, right? And what are you teaching your children by being so much in an adult energy or so much in an obligation or just trying to get through energy as well? And how do you nurture, you know, the child within you while also considering the children around you and the influence and the wisdom that they have to impart to you in your life? That's that saying of like, you know, from the mouth of babes, right? There's really something to that, Gemini. Really, really, really. Let's get some advice, shall we? Some advice for Gemini. Let's see what's going on. It could not be better. Your advice is the star. I don't know why that came out French, but we're just going to go with that. The star is your advice. Beautiful Aquarian energy here. When this comes up as your advice, it's saying keep the faith. Stay connected to your hope. Stay connected to your wishes, your wish fulfillment potential, your love, your energy, your health, all of it. This is saying just hang in there. It's all going to materialize and come through. I do feel like there are certain aspects of your circumstances that have felt maybe less than desirable or a bit up in the air or a bit back and forth, but this is just saying it's really going to come together. There's a part of me that wants to take this literally and go, okay, I feel like we may be looking at an aqua season for this shift in spirit and these feel goods to come through as well. So aqua season is January 20th through February 21st, I believe, give or take a day. So the fact that this is coming up for you in this way, I just feel like it's like, you know, what does a boat follow? The North Star, right? Really something to that, and the light and the darkness as well. You know, the star is also about self-care and seeing to your own needs from a place of non-judgment, just like you would take care of a child that you love, take care of yourself in the same way, okay? There's really something to that. Also, this red bird here as well, something coming through about that. I do feel like there's going to be signs and symbols around you. There's a lot of signs and symbols around you. Are you noticing them? Like I keep going back to Peter Pan, just like a child, you know, is in the present moment so that they don't miss anything. That's why children see everything. That's why you can't, you know what I mean? You can't hide anything from children. They see it all because they're so great at embodying the present moment that they're in, that they don't miss a thing. So there's something about noticing the signs and symbols around you as well, expanding your vision and really, really being aware, being in the present moment, right? Let's get an oracle. I'm feeling like this one for you. I've been using the Urban Crow Oracle today, but for you, darling Geminis, I'm feeling the wisdom of the hidden realm. Oh, I love it. I love it. Woo! So we have the Dream Walker. What did we say about dream time with the dragonfly? Hello. Dreams, the collective good illusions. Remember when we talked about the dragonfly and the Ace of Swords being the remedy to illusions, right? And seeing things clearly. And then we have this beautiful dragon energy here as well. Dreams, the collective good illusions. This is really stunning because this is really saying with this dragonfly energy, with the sea serpent and the emotional healing, remember how we talked about in your meditation about sometimes the past, our childhood, I say childhood. Childhood can affect our thoughts or ideas that we have about, you know, ourselves, money, love, relationship, whatever that is. And we can carry them on and we can be living those out from a place of non-awareness, right? I am really hearing to inspect some sort of ideas or viewpoint around, especially for those of you, because I'm getting this with the Peter Pan and the growing up thing, right? Because that's when Wendy and him fell out, right? When she like became an adult. Especially for those of you who were forced to grow up a bit too quickly or didn't really get to have the full childhood experience. There's really something coming through for you around that. I do feel like it's affecting how you see things and really limiting your vision on all of the potential at your disposal in order to connect with that soul purpose and really live from a place of possibility and potential. And I even want to say, like with the star energy, like wish fulfillment, right? We've got to let go of some of those adult ideas that it's kind of the equivalent that I'm getting of like someone going and telling their parent something. It's like, oh my God, this is what I want to do when I grow up. I want to be this and I feel really good about it and I keep dreaming about it and this is what I want to be. And then the parent goes, well, I'm going to knock them down a few pegs so they aren't disappointed when this doesn't work out and say, oh, come on, how's that going to work? How are you going to pay your rent then? Oh, you want to be a star, do you? Huh? How are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to do this? You're not going to make any money of that. Go to business school. Be smart. It's that kind of energy that just snuffs out the candle flame, right? I'm hearing to revisit that within you and look at how the adult, quote, influences or the, you know, too hard influences have affected you and are keeping you small or keeping your thinking limited. Okay, really, really important for you. And also dream work, keep a dream journal, set those intentions before bed for clarity, because I feel like that the whole point here, Gemini, is on the other side of emotional healing and emotional, you know, really connecting with your emotions, right? On the other side of that is clarity, truth, and a new perspective. You have a lot more opportunity and potential at your disposal than you are currently in belief that you have, right? And it's belief, right? You got this, Gemini. I'm wishing you a most blessed first half of October. I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I love, love, love hearing from you in the comments. Please like, please share, please subscribe, do all the things. I would so appreciate that. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you so, so much for being here. And most of all, and as always, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.